Omeezy has dropped a video on the whole Faze clan drama. I know some of y'all see my title. I said I left Faze. I was never in Faze, but you know what I'm saying? It was just the thing everybody was tweeting. But yeah, if you don't know, Silky, Lacey, Ron, Jason, Adapt have all left Faze. And then as recording this was yesterday, but as recording this now, Rage has also left Faze. So there's a bunch of speculation going on. Omeezy dropped a video about kind of the whole situation, but then more stuff started coming out. Like Swag dropped a video, and then I think Banks is supposed to go live later today or something like that. So we're just gonna try to get it all into one video for you. You know what I'm saying? So you're not here. Oh, where do I go for here? We gonna try to go over all the little stuff, and I'm gonna try to inquire on some things if they don't touch on it in the video. Let's get it.
We have no control. Or it's like we're puppets. At least that's what it felt like. Anything could happen at any moment.
They tried to make that pay 20 bands a month. What the? Making him look like this ego monster. Don't know the truth, bro.
I find you guys
paying 20 bands a month is crazy. I ain't gonna lie. You want me to pay 20 bands a month to be in Faze? You want me to pay 20 bands a month to be in Faze? I'm good.
all to be incredibly ungrateful. I find you guys all to have insane egos, and I think it's disgusting and makes me sick to my stomach. And I'm here to tell you, as former Faze Banks, this was one of the worst decisions I've ever made in my entire life.
One of the worst decisions you could have made in your life? That is so interesting. While last year seemed to be year of the Faze, this year has not gone so well. It all kind of kicked off with PKWY Max announcing his departure from the group, and ever since then, things have kind of been spiraling. And just yesterday, at least this commentary channel got one of the greatest gifts that could have possibly happened. Pretty much every single creator that was affiliated with Faze put out a tweet saying, left Faze Clan. I'm talking about Silky, Ron, Jason, Lacey, Adapt.
Him, her, him, bodies.
Bro, I thought it was a troll. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was a troll until I seen Adapt post it with a paragraph. I was like, Adapt wouldn't play about some shit like that. That nigga's been in Faze for 14 years. He would not play about no shit like that.
Bodies!
Faze lost seemingly most of their current roster, and we've got to talk about it on this momentous day. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Us unemployed got to stick together, and it would be greatly appreciated. Now, back into the celebration. Now, Faze isn't new to doing any sorts of different promotions, so when all of the Faze members came out and said left at Faze Clan simultaneously, it kind of didn't surprise anybody. People thought that it was just another one of their, you know, subathons, marathons being promoted for what's to come. But some of us that follow the Twitter communities saw that, hey, there was a house up for sale.
Oh, shit. Wait a minute. I didn't see this information.
But some of us that follow the Twitter communities saw that, hey, there was
eviction notice. After doing some research, it appears the Faze house has been relisted for rent as of this morning at 9 a.m. It looks as though moving is available as soon as January 15th. Damn. 75 bands a month.
Was a house up for sale. There were people being seen in different locations. There was a little bit of a breadcrumbing that had happened over the past couple of days that makes this moment in time make so much more sense. And to get the ball rolling even further away from the conversation about this being any sorts of promo, PKWY Max's legitimate cousin, Fatboy Dip, came to the internet and started to spill some tea that was so hot I had to blow it off 50,000 times and still get burned when I drank it.
Gang, you see that little townhouse that Max was in? They tried to make that pay 20 bands a month. What the?
You got me fucked. You, listen, excuse my burps. You got me actually all the way fucked up. Like, you got me, the amount of fucked up you got me.
Whoa.
Or give a percentage of myself. What the?
Yo. Hello?
But Max is such a good, he just, yo, bro, I just want to, and now he's like, Max, look crazy, look like egoed out. No, that's not cool though. Like taking on the chin, making him look like this ego monster. Don't know the truth, bro.
Now, up to that point, it was unverified what was going on, but what reason would PKWY Max's cousin have to lie about situations that happened? People forget when Max left, he was seen as like the black sheep in this situation.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. They were doing Max, when he left, I cannot cap, they were doing Max the worst way, bro. They was giving him hard R treatment. Like, oh, of course, he think he bigger than a group and this and that. They were doing Max the worst way. No
he was
cap.
painted out to be the bad guy.
Yup.
He was the villain and all these things. And my ears were percolating because my pot has been stewing. This perpetual stew has been going on for about a year now, but I had to wait. Now, on top of just about every single Faze member saying that they had left Faze, the Faze account themselves also unfollowed every single member. And everybody started pointing their fingers again at Faze Banks saying, what did he do this time? But he quickly reminded us that, hey, I have nothing to do with Faze. What's going on right now? I left 4 months ago. It's unfortunate to see what's going on. Everybody the best, blase, blase, blah. You know, getting out in front of it just like any sort of PR person would do. This seemingly triggered PKWY Max though, because what happens next seems to be a total scorched earth moment that wasn't intercepted by anybody. So we are very much inclined to believe that what he says about why he left Faze and the things that happened between him, some of the management, the senior leadership, and the group as a whole, whew, it's jarring, it's damning.
But we had a sponsor for that day, and niggas didn't end up doing the sponsor. Game night. Yes, if you was there, you was there. Niggas didn't end up doing the sponsor. There was difficulties with the sponsor. Yeah. After that happened, according to the assistants and staff of the creators, because I'm not gonna lie, I just really don't remember. But they said that Faze has pulled everybody for the rest of the month and sent niggas home early. This is the first time where in my head I went, okay, so how much control do we have here?
Wow.
And how much control do niggas have over us?
Yeah, it's a very valid question. PKWY Max goes on to
That is very valid. Now, what I will say is that I kind of I get both sides. That is a very reasonable question, but I also get both sides because it's like at the end of the day, if they're providing you with film crew, you know what I'm saying? The 20% seems a little crazy, but if they're providing you with a film crew, with this and that, and then they ask you to do a sponsor so they can start making their money back. Because, at what point does Faze make money for putting all this money behind you? You know what I mean? So, if they need to do the sponsor and y'all don't get the sponsor done, hey, bro, I can't fund this if I don't have any money. I can't just keep throwing money at the wall. So, I definitely get that. Now, if you had your own camera crew and own camera niggas and shit like that, and they sent them home, then they fucking wildin'. But if you're using Faze's camera crew, Faze's shit, and they can't get the sponsor done and get their money back, then I gotta pull these niggas because I can't afford to pay them because we didn't do the sponsor. You see what I mean? So I get that. I do get that.
allude to the fact that he and the other members of Faze that signed on to the organization didn't have as much control as he once thought they did. You see, on a live stream about a year ago, I remember one Faze Banks saying to me specifically that, hey, we just really rock with these guys. We support these guys. We're just behind them. And, we want to get behind their creative endeavors. Very much making it seem as though, he was just fully supportive, no strings attached. But as Max is detailing and outlining here that is not the case. He goes on to highlight different times in which the organization decided to flex their muscle and their power. One time in particular in which they kicked Lacey out of the group.
Y'all remember when Lacey got...
Bro, I thought this was a joke. I when I was talking to Aaron about this last night, I was like, oh, I thought it was a troll. I guess it's not. Lacey was really kicked out.
Kicked from Faze? He really got kicked from Faze. He got kicked from Faze because, according to the assistants and the staff and the cameramen, they said that he had missed a video shoot or something, and we were missing video shoots, and so he actually got kicked from Faze. Granted, he was allowed back in a couple, later, because niggas all had combos, but yes, he got kicked from Faze.
He then goes on to seemingly verify what his cousin said in his stream about him having to pay a certain percentage of his earnings / pay $20K a month in order to rent out some sort of townhouse in the back. And he also hints that the other members are caught up in some sort of drama or ordeal, but ultimately he and themselves signed these contracts that had them connected to the Faze name and the Faze brand. I think we're seeing a lot of content creators in 2025, specifically from the streaming side, signed to these organizations, signed to these production companies, signed to these management firms that ultimately take control of who they are and what they do, which is completely contradictory to the whole reason why a lot of these content creators hopped into the streaming space in general. Hey, this is not traditional media, but I still want to be in the media space. I want to have control over what I do. Now, kind of as a hindsight 2020 and a forewarning for people coming up after them, these people aren't just going to throw bags at you just to throw bags at you. There's going to have to be something attached to it. No matter what a 40-year-old says on a live stream, They're not just going to put you in a mansion, pipe you up, give you all these lit aspirations and fulfill all your creative dreams without anything being attached to it at all. No, that's not how that works. And I do think it was interesting that when I had that sit down that Max kind of wasn't as vocal as, some of the others, but we'll get back to that at a different time. Ultimately, Max felt like he was shafted in a lot of regards by Faze, blindsided by the organization, not the members. But because he likes to talk so much and not have his name slung through the dirt, it was about time that Faze Banks spoke out about the situation. And boy, he seemingly turned his back on everybody.
I just watched some clips from this PKWY Max stream where he's playing a laugh track over my tweet. And it's like, Max, I know we've had like our individual differences, and I know I haven't really seen eye to eye with a lot of the talent because truthfully and honestly, I find you guys all to be incredibly ungrateful. I find you guys all to have insane egos. And I think it's disgusting and makes me sick to my stomach that your guys' relationship.
Said them niggas had egos. He said he was sick of them niggas. I was like, damn. I ain't gonna lie though. Chad, I hate to break it to you. I hate to be that nigga, but streaming niggas definitely got egos. Chad, I met niggas that only average 20 to 30 viewers, but because they're cool with certain content creators, they have an ego. Legit shit. Like, I can't make this up. I'm like, nigga, nigga. I make more money than you. I pull more viewers than you. I do more than you do. I upload everywhere more than you. You think because you got a nigga's contact, like, you can try to ego me? I was like, yo, what's up? And I was like, oh, y'all are so dead ass. And chat, I try to be friendly. I try to be nice. I try to, you know what I'm saying? Oh, do you do, you know what I'm saying? What do you do? What's your shit? You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, bro, niggas will, like, it's literally like, oh, you're not on my level because you don't know who I am. I'll go like, yo, what do you, oh, yeah, I do, yeah. And they kind of just like brush you off. And I'm like, I hate to be this nigga, but I make more money than you. I'm trying to introduce myself, be cool, cordial, because we all creators at the end of the day. And you brushing me off, nigga. We can go bed for bed right now. What's up? But like, that's where I don't like. I want to be in the streaming space, but sometimes I don't. And then Aaron says this shit all the time, bro. He was like, I don't know if I want to be a streamer. I'd rather be a YouTuber. Bro, some of the biggest chat, narrator, great fucking guy. One of the biggest YouTube groups ever. One of the biggest YouTubers ever. Great fucking guy. Just nice as hell. But these streamers, dude, I'm like, damn, bro. Like, sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to be a poppin' streamer because just the ego is so terrible on some of these niggas, bro. No cap.
With each other and with every other streamer, and your community included, is so incredibly fake. You guys are the best actors on planet Earth, and you've made a complete career out of all of it. Max, these are your boys, but these are the same guys that said they fucking hated your guts after you left. And you know, you're the program and you have an ego the size, you think you're Travis Scott and this and that. And also, like, Max, multiple conversations about how Ron's content's cringe and you guys didn't fuck with the dap. None of you guys fucked with Lacey or Jason in the beginning.
I'm not gonna lie, like, this was something that was already known though. Now that I think about it, like, niggas had full-on discussions about this during the first subathon, talking about how, like, they didn't know if they wanted to be in a house with them because they didn't know about their content, and, like, they didn't know if they would get along. So, like, him saying this isn't really nothing new.
You guys didn't want these guys to live anywhere near you. You barely wanted to share a brand with them. But Faze was going to fund a Miami house for you, Rage, Silky, and Kason. So fuck it.
Wait a minute.
What we can get. And then it all worked. And we forced this relationship.
Hold on now. If I recall, that is not what was told to me. Now, I'm gonna stop being petty here because I picked up a lot of audience that doesn't know necessarily the saga. But last year, I made a video speaking about Faze. And in that video, I outlined a couple of things that struck a nerve between a couple of the members, specifically Stable Ron and Lacey. Now, that night, or maybe the next one, I was invited to be on a live stream with Stable Ron so we can go through that conversation and discourse. And I thought that we had a pretty good conversation for what it's worth. We both came in there with some misunderstandings things about each other. We came to some conclusions and agreements. And even when Lacey popped in, it was ultimately a productive conversation for what it was worth. I think we all left with better understandings of what was going on, who we were, gained perspective and insight about each other. And I thought that it was a very mature conversation. It was even a couple of times where Ron would tell his community, yo, like, I'm actually trying to like understand here. So, you know, stop getting on his dick about doing stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So kudos to those guys. But the tides turned specifically when Faze Banks stepped into the conversation and took it totally left. And in that conversation, he said things that kind of contradict what's being said today. Now, from a business perspective, I totally get it, gang. You funded a lot of the projects, and it would seem very ungrateful of these people who you've funded to be, you know, so ungrateful afterwards, not appreciative, whatever the case may be. But that didn't really address what PKWY Max kind of just said there. And you saying that they threw each other under the bus, they didn't like each other in the beginning, this, that, and the third, albeit a reiteration and maybe an exaggeration of conversations had previously, that's a complete contradiction as to what you said. Plus, if you ask some people that were very close to Faze during this time, that doesn't match up what's being done in real time. But we'll get into that in 2 seconds.
I don't know, man. I failed miserably. It's not the first L that I'm taking in my life. It's not the first time I failed. But yeah, I wish that, in a weird way, I do wish that I fucking was closer to the fold the last 4 or 5 months. I don't think that this all would have happened this way.
Is it time to victory lap just yet? No, not yet. We'll save that for later on tonight. Banks goes on for another 12 minutes talking about, you know, how Twitter comms are negative, how these kids only care about their viewers and they'll do anything for them. They'll believe whatever they say, et cetera, et cetera. And
I'm not gonna lie, there are some niggas in Faze. I'm not gonna say who, but I watched these niggas change their opinion based off what their chat was saying. Because their chat was spamming L, they went from liking something to not liking something 3 times. Chat, I was in a call with Philly watching it happen live. I'm like, oh my God, these niggas have no backbone. I was like, yo, they can't keep their own opinion because if the chat is not fucking with your opinion, I was like, yo, I can never. That shit, it has to suck to not even be able to enjoy the simple things on stream because if you see chat spamming L's, you bend to their will.
in a follow-up to the video that he posted, he put out a tweet saying, these guys had free housing, free filmers and staff, all Faze channels, 0% income shared. Their money and platforms all skyrocketed after meeting me, but I'm the bad guy. None of it makes sense. And like I said above, I'm going to get into all the details tomorrow. Now, as we wait for that glorious live stream to happen, the only thing that we have...
Here's the thing. There's a difference between entertaining them and bending to their will. The whole purpose of them doing that current content was to check out a new type of content. You know what I mean? Once they start checking it out, chat's like, we want this, and then switch it 3 times. So it wasn't even about entertaining the chat. It wasn't even like, it was just, you couldn't stand on that you had to just check out something new because them niggas don't want that. It's what they want goes, and I was like, I'm good off that. I don't need
really
that
listen to our people from the Faze clan that were a part of this situation, and we have people that were close to them. During my research for this video, I found a tweet that Stable Ronaldo liked, saying that I cannot believe this is a grown man I'm listening to speak right now. No accountability, victimizing himself and throwing the boys under the bus, saying fake relationships and secretly hating BS. And that in-depth shit dead pissed me off. That's from a fan, but like by Stable Ronaldo, I don't know. Another like tweet by Ron stated that being 34 years old and not taking accountability for ruining your business 2 times now is insane. This motherfucker always blaming other people for his failures in life. Heavy statements from ex-members directly, but let's see what adjacent people to these streamers, to these people in Faze clan have to say. Friend of the show, TK, decided to go live and react to this situation, and what he said about Banks and the whole situation was very telling about how he viewed this whole entire project. It's a big money grab.
Is it really help if you was telling niggas you gotta pay me a percentage of your streams or your revenue to be a part of what we're doing here?
Again,
mind you, before these niggas joined Faze, what was Faze's relevancy? What was Faze's existence? Who was Faze? I'm not mad because he did a business move the wrong way. I'm mad because this nigga sitting here talking about it like, oh,
I did so much for these niggas, and all I did was love ththese niggas, and all I'm asking for them is to sign a 360. Sign your soul away to me, little monkey. You little streamer dancer. Like, so what?
Is this nigga drunk?
You little idiot. Like, god damn. I gave you so much. I loved y'all so much like brothers. We built this shit from the ground, gang, and I let y'all get into it. So just sign your soul away. How fucking dare you be so ungrateful that you don't sign your fucking soul to me? Nigga, what are we fucking talking about, bro?
Hey, yo. Scum TK, a streamer and friend of Your Rage, a current Faze member, he hasn't tweeted out that he's left Faze, went on live and refuted and debunked and stated that what Banks was saying was untrue in a lot of the regards, in a lot of the situations. There's one instance where Faze Banks says that he's never made any money from Faze, and Scum TK, again, somebody very close to this situation, completely refutes that allegation and says that it's totally false.
I have never made not one singular dollar outside of my...
You didn't just sell your stake in Faze? I don't care. I'm tripping. I'm leaking. I'm sorry. You didn't just sell your stake in Faze?
Oh, wow.
Niggas can't do shit to me. Black Sharks pull up. I got a
Keep digging in him, TK.
We can keep doing this. You didn't just
Wait,
come up
so who
real
has
bright
left
off
Faze
this
so
shit.
far?
Even Aiden Ross, somebody very close to Faze Banks and the corporate side of streaming, who was behind the scenes, went ahead and did his attempt at scorching the earth by outing the fact that not only did he help Faze financially, but revealing the truth behind what happened between the real owners and the content side of things.
They're using Faze's foundation, their money to buy stuff for shoots, brand deals, like Faze has been doing, right? It's a corporate business. So they never signed that 20% initially. They come after them a year and a half later and then ask for the 20%. That is where I think that that's in the wrong.
That's wrong.
Because listen, if your intention was to sign these guys for 20% to join Faze, they probably would have all done it.
Yep.
But now you waited till they're big and they already have millions of followers and dollars. So why would they sign a contract? You can't put a deal in their fucking face at this point. Do you understand? I understand both sides here. They wouldn't have done it. Well, then, Lico, then you could argue that they wouldn't be as big as they are.
True.
Or you can argue that, you know, there's many arguments to make. I think they would have done it.
What I will say is, I do think a lot of them benefited wholeheartedly from joining Faze. Like, all of them were on the come up, but their shit grew substantially when they joined Faze. Max, Silky, like, everybody but Rage. I think Rage is still kind of like, he was already big. He had already had shit going on. And then I think, I don't know where Adapt was at the moment. But they all benefited from Faze. So if they're talking 20% of what they were making before, for sure. I think a lot of niggas would have did it. Because niggas was probably averaging like about 10 to 15K a month. But once a nigga's making $200,000, $300,000 plus a month, now you want 20% out of nowhere when we've already, you know what I'm saying? Because it was an equal thing. Like, Faze was in a terrible place at the time that all these niggas signed. So it worked hand in hand. Faze had a name for themselves, but all of them coming together worked. And they were able to create good content. So it worked hand in hand. So to think that, yeah, you didn't make your money back, but don't, like, you're moving like signing these niggas didn't benefit you at all, which is not the case. These niggas for sure were putting in pain and brought the org back, bro. And everybody doubted this shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe not all of them.
All in all, this is messy because unlike we were told in the beginning, this seems to be way more business as opposed to real, genuine friendships, you know, handling things the right way, the proper way. It seems very shady and underhanded. Now, I know over the next couple of days, we are going to hear, you know, the different sides and people are going to have to speak about this. But this is very interesting, especially because last year, people who kind of called this stuff out were killed over some of their criticisms and takes. So now I'm putting a call to action. Two things. One, I will be live tonight going over what Faze Banks is going to be saying in his stream where he announces everything. I'm pretty sure others will be speaking out about it by that time, so that'll give us a lot to react to. I really want to stay glued to this because I am kind of ready to skip around the room. Skip around the room. But two, and most importantly, make sure you get this to them. Ron, Lacey, I'm extending you guys an invitation just like you extended me an invitation to talk about these things. Hell, I'll do it for Max, I'll do it for Silky, I'll do it for Jason. Jason, I'll do it for whoever, Adapt as well. Especially because it's really messed up hearing that he's also leaving this organization knowing what this organization meant to him. But to you two guys who generously granted me
14
your
years is
platform,
crazy.
I want to do the same for you. Hell, I'll even fly you to be in studio with me so we can have this conversation in real time. But I just want to talk. I just want to get it all out there. And I just want to ask, why did Faze Banks lie to me? Why did Faze Banks lie to us?
Damn. Banks isn't live yet, right? Banks not live. Okay. I do want to touch base on Swag's video.
Hey YouTube, what is going on, guys? Man, I did not think I would be making this type of video when I went home on vacation. On Christmas, there's so much that went down. My phone went absolutely berserk. The internet went absolutely berserk. And like I said, this is something that I kind of knew was coming for the last couple of weeks, but I didn't think it was going to sit here and happen on Christmas, man.
Damn, the only person left is fucking Kason, bro. Legit shit. The only person left is Kason.
So first of all, if you don't know who I am and you're clicking this video, I'm Faze Swag. I've been in Faze for 6 years, and as you guys saw on the internet throughout the entire thing, several members left on Christmas, and everyone has been asking me questions. First of all, if you ever been a fan of Faze, make sure y'all drop a like, man. You know, I've been watching Faze since I started playing Call of Duty, and then I was recruited in 2020 by Faze Apex because I was good at Warzone and I was a Call of Duty content creator. And at that time, I was their first Call of Duty recruit in like 6 or 7 years, man. So it's been a crazy ride the last 6 years. Even in the last year and a half have been pretty great. You know, just seeing what the boys have built.
Faze Clan.
The people that announced that they left last night were Lacey, Stable Ronaldo, Silky, Adapt, which I think is one that just like I think shocked the entire internet, because I think when Lacey and Ron and like Jason and Silky announced that they were leaving, people thought it was kind of a joke or like it was some sort of skit. But when Adapt had left, I think that's when literally everyone on my phone said, "Is this actually real? Is this actually happening?" You know, and you know, Adapt.
What's so crazy is they literally just won Org of the Year, back to back.
Been in Faze for 14 years, so for him to leave the clan is, I mean, it's definitely serious. It's some serious shit. Some people may argue with me in the comment section below about this, but I think Adapt is probably the most, I would say is the best Faze clan member of all time. I think Rug is also a top Faze clan member, but I think Rug is the type of person who kind of did his own thing. The way I look at Rug is I think Rug is like the USA team, and Adapt played for the Lakers and won like 6 chips. That's how I would like kind of put them there. Rug took the Faze name and put it in places in the world that people have never even heard of Faze or gaming or anything like that ever. But Adapt was really in LA grinding in the heart of the organization, and he is the funniest, most genuine person I've ever met. He's genuinely the most funniest person. Everything you see on stream with Adapt is exactly how he is in person. Even if we're just eating a sandwich, bro, he's just cracking a joke and just laughing and just being goofy.
When you guys went to the Pig Cafe, it looked like Lacey family reunion. Oh.
And over the last year and a half, things have been pretty great, especially within Faze. This is all from my perspective and through my scope, so I'm not really speaking for anybody who left or anything like that or what's going on. And a lot of you guys are asking if I'm leaving, which I will explain. First of all, I kind of want to paint the picture of what Faze actually looked like within the org, what like our roles were and different things like that. So as you guys know, we had the Faze house, which had people living in it such as Max, Silky, Jason, Ron, Lacey, and Adapt moved in a little bit later, but he was part of like that core streaming group. And those 5 guys besides Adapt were all recently recruited in the last 2 years, and they kind of just all grew together. They grew all good communities, man. Their communities are massive, and they've done a great job carrying Faze and kind of bringing back Faze in general. And a lot of that credit I got to give to, man, I'll literally tell you the story I remember, bro. I remember Kason telling me about, first of all, about Max. I had never heard about PKWY Max, man. He showed me some of his clips and streams, because I mainly just game. I mainly play Call of Duty. I stay in my own lane, and I mainly just game. You know what I mean? I'm a gamer. I remember him telling me about PKWY Max. I remember Ron telling me about Jason the Lean. I remember Ron telling me about Lacey when Lacey was like, had pink hair. And I remember meeting all of them and kind of seeing this overall the potential, you know, and they've grown over the last 2 years and really putting, I mean, they've won back-to-back orgs. for Faze Clan. So they've done a great job. And I can really speak to their just character and just overall when it's off camera. At the weekly Faze shoots, which was what I would always go to, and I would go to the house sometimes, they were all just cool, very chill individuals who just genuinely wanted to succeed together. They always plan things together, and they care so much about the brand. There was a clip of Ron, I would say a couple months ago, about him, you know, never wanting to leave Faze Clan, and that was facts. Ron definitely felt some type of way as far as never wanting to leave. So
that
you
was them
obviously
at the awards. Yeah, they won Org of the Year back to back 2 years in a row. They just won that shit like a month ago. Literally a month ago.
The core people that lived in the house that we would shoot YouTube videos. Because I'm in LA, I would come to the video shoots. And again, this is through my perspective. So they obviously had the house all together making content. We would do video shoots. I live in LA, so I would literally go to the LA shoots that were probably 20 minutes away, hang out with them. We would shoot like 2 or 3 videos, and then we would go our separate ways. A lot of people would ask why I don't live in the Faze house or different things like that. Look, I'm a little bit older than all of them. I'm 29, about to be 30. I've done.
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, at a certain age, brother, the content house, we gotta, you know what I'm saying? At a certain age, it's just like, all right, man. Like, we can live next to each other for sure, but at a certain age, bruh, we gotta separate a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
The 3 to 4 Faze houses with my boys, you know what I mean? So I definitely wanted to just have my own space, and overall, you know, that's, you know, at some point you got to understand what's betterment for the team, and I understood that for real. And then you obviously have guys like Scope who is a true sniper, like for Call of Duty, Zuma, who's truly into the competitive scene, Jev, who does his own variety content but still carries the Faze name, Rug, who does his own thing with his YouTube videos, his IRL YouTube videos, doesn't really stream, does his own thing for Faze. So that's kind of how the scope of the whole thing kind of worked. You have guys like Apex who worked on the back end for Faze, but at the core center of it all was the Faze house and the boys who streamed every single day. Like I said, I saw some clips, even from Ricky, talking about how they all have egos and different things like that. Look, at the end of the day, that is something I did not experience. They all were, I'm gonna tell you this right now, they all had a right to have an ego, and they just did not. Look, they showed up to the video shoots, whether they maybe liked it or not, they showed up and they did it. They knew what was best for the group. They understood that, yo, we got to do content together. Even like YouTube video content, we got to do the extra stuff to continue to push the brand. So as far as their character and different things like that, I mean, for them being 21, 22, averaging, you know, I saw Ron. I'll tell you like this, man. Ron is so funny. He built a slide in the back of the Faze house, 35,000 viewers, and he would show up. Ron would be the first one to the video shoots. Let's say we had a video shoot at 9 o'clock. Ron would be there at 8:30, 8:15. on his phone, sleeping, ready to go. That's how I knew that these guys genuinely just didn't have egos like that. Ron was there every single time early. So as far as it testing to the character, I just truly disagree with that. This is kind of one of those situations where I think history just kind of repeats itself. Now, a lot of people are sitting here asking as far as why
Oh yeah, for sure. History's going to repeat itself. Bro, this is the second time Faze has just been in a weird place. This is the second time in a couple years that Faze has been in a weird place. And like, it's just, it's honestly at this point, I feel like they might as well just go the org route where they worry about competitive gaming. Like, figure it out from there. Stop trying to get random content creators, random celebrities. Just focus on the competitive side, bro.
Haven't left in a sense, or you know, why I'm not leaving along with him. I think for me, it's a little bit different. You know, that situation has been building up, especially at the Faze house for a little while now.
It's unfortunate to say, right? And I don't want to be the one that bear bad news, right? But this whole Faze thing, it's going to come to a halt very soon once the pressure is turned up. Because reality is, you guys have no equity in this, right? You're under no contract.
I'll be surprised if this shit lasts another year. We're not even talking about equity.
For me, I kind of worked out as far as like maybe with the higher ups with Faze, my role and what I was doing and what I was comfortable with, and I was set, you know, for the last couple of years. And for me personally, I was just telling my manager this. I think, you know, Apex recruited me. So for me, I think whenever Apex calls it quits or Apex says he's no longer associated with the Faze brand, I think that's when I would step down, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's maybe you guys, people can understand it's a little disrespectful, you know, if Apex recruits me and then I just slide off, you know? Also, you just kind of got to see how everything plays out. I do want to sit here and say though, I promise you, anybody from the Faze org is watching, yo, it is in your best interest to get these guys back. You guys got to get all these guys back, man. They have done an incredible job. They have single-handedly revived the entire brand. They've made people genuinely excited for Faze Clan in almost a decade.
Damn.
You know, and I'm gonna say this right now. For any organization watching out there, or anything, company, or anything like that, you are nothing without your talent. You are nothing without, you know, genuine employees. You know, I knew things were bad at Faze.
You can't have an org without any talent. The fuck am I signed for you for? I can't. There's no vouchers. There's no vouchers here. You have no talent. The thing with Faze was they had too much random talent there was no reason for them to be in Faze. And then this time around, when you got the good talent, you're like, I need your money. So it's like, what happened to all the money that you were giving these random people you were signing? What happened to all that money? Now all of a sudden you need the money from the niggas who was trying to revive the brand. You're making bad business decisions.
Long-time person who has been in there, Griff, I know you're watching this. When he was let go, I knew things were bad because there is a lot of good people who work at Faze. But the whole situation, it just almost feels like what happened 2 years ago with losing control of Faze and everything like that going on. So the boys will for sure speak to their own personal experience and in why they left individually. All the guys who left, you know, I think they just wanted to, you know, have a piece of what they were building, and that's completely valid, man. I mean, they've done a great job. They've streamed every single day. They've gone to video shoots when they did not have to. They did stuff for brands when they're not even getting paid for it. I mean, all of us for the last 2 years were literally not getting a salary. Like, we weren't getting a salary. Like, before 3-4 years ago in Faze, bro, it was 6 figures easy, no question. The last 2 years, none of us have taken a salary. We understand that what's best for the org and you know, putting money into the content, and that's all they did. That's why I respect the guys so much, because they would spend so much money of their own money to put into the Faze content to make it good. Money into their own content to make it good. And that inspired me. Now a lot of people are asking, are they gonna make their own org? Or I think a lot of people are asking that question, and I don't think that's something that's on the horizon. I think you gotta understand that, you know, it's Christmas time. Look, like that clip of Ron where he said he did not want to leave Faze. I promise you, this is the last thing they wanted to do. This is something that they just feel like they had no other choice, you know? But I think it's always important to note that, like I said, talent comes first. Whether this whole thing was making money or not, I feel like gaming organizations in general aren't built to make money. And I don't think that's why we were even in the first place. That's not why I was in it. I just wanted to be a part of a team, you know? I was completely fine for the last year and a half making $0. My favorite thing to do was all of us going to the Faze shoots and making YouTube content and just hanging out and vibing. Like that's what I joined for, you know, is the camaraderie, you know? At the end of the day, I think it's completely in anybody on the Faze company side best interest to get all these guys back. They are the ones who cared. There's nobody who cared about the org more than they did. They single-handedly brought it back. The guys did. The guys who worked day in and day out and created content and carried that name. Like I said, I don't really have a decision on what I'm going to be doing. I'm kind of just letting things kind of play out as they go. I kind of wanted to make this video just because, you know, a lot of people are asking, because I am in Faze and a lot of these different questions. I kind of want to just kind of give you an inside scoop on and kind of tell you guys about their character. You know, I'm seeing, you know, their character being questioned and how much they actually cared about the brand and why would they leave such a thing like that. Man, I'm telling you, this is the last thing they wanted to do. Like I said, the boys just wanted a piece of what they were building, and from the likes of it, they weren't getting that piece of what they were building, you know? I've been through already one Faze rebuild, man. So like this, Adapt leaving does feel...
That shit, I ain't gonna lie, that motherfucker hit like a ton of bricks. Like, god damn, Faze is really, like, Adapt, like everybody who recently signed, like, it sucks, but like Adapt, nigga.
Speak on it, they will speak on it in detail. But as far as them having egos and not caring about each other and hating on each other, bro, I'm telling you, these guys we're off camera. They're clowning, they're joking, they're hanging out all the time. These guys would hang out together all the time. They live together. And you can't fake numbers. Faze Clan won back-to-back Orgs of the Year. So make sure y'all drop a like, hit that subscribe button down below. Hopefully it kind of clear things up as far as just understanding what was going on inside. And like I said, some people were questioning if I was leaving or not. Look, I don't know right now. It's one of those things where it's kind of just up in the air. Like I said, I had a conversation with Apex literally last night about everything. We have a call today. to kind of just talk over everything. A lot of people are asking, I don't really know what Kason is planning. I really don't know what Rage is planning as well. I'm sure they will announce whatever they're feeling as well. I love Rage. Rage is one of the funniest humans, man. He came to the subathon and went absolutely nuts. So, like I said, he's another person who does his own thing as well. Kason, like I said, is very heavy in esports. But I'm sure they'll announce whatever they're feeling and whatever they're doing. Scope's probably the greatest sniper of our time. So, I mean, he's going to keep doing what he's doing. I was literally talking to Apex last night. He was sitting here telling me over the last 2 years, he has genuinely tried to just help and be a part of the team even more, and just feels like he wasn't even given the opportunity, man. I love Apex. So I'm gonna have a call with Apex later and kind of talk over everything. Look, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what the boys are going to do. Look, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. They're very good individuals. They work together. They just want to see the whole thing succeed. And a lot of people can say when the rebrand happened, they feel like these guys, because all they do is IRL stream. They're not like real Faze fans or real Faze members. Like, I'm telling you this right now. These guys single-handedly brought back the entire brand. And look, at the end of the day, whatever they want, just give it to them, man. I'm telling you, bro, when you put talent first, everything will work out. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. There is great people overall at Faze, man. Vera, I know you're watching this video. You're a hell of an individual. One of the best people at Faze Clan by far. I think it was a mistake, Faze, for sure to let Griff go. You guys got to get Griff back somehow. And of course, shout out to my dog, Darren, man. Look, at the end of the day, I genuinely love being in Faze. I love the vibe of it the last couple years. Look, I was making no money and I was having fun just going to the shoots, absolutely vibing. But all in all, hopefully this answered a couple questions and kind of gave you guys an update of what was going on, because everyone was asking on my Twitter. So this is from my perspective, from my lens. I'm not speaking to anybody. I'm not speaking to nobody. And I felt inclined to make this video, you know what I mean? When people come up to me, they don't just say swag, they say Faze swag. And I try to carry that, you know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people are asking me, did I quit Warzone, different things like that. I will have a follow-up video talking about all of that. But, I've been having a blast with Arc Raiders. If you guys want any more questions or anything like
Damn, bruh. Faze might be cooked, bruh. Faze might be cooked, bruh.